The historical relationships between Ethiopia and India date back to about 2 millennia of recorded history. The two sisterly nations' cordial friendship was especially consolidated in 1948 following the establishment of their first diplomatic relations at the level of legations. This long-standing bond of the two countries has lately been uplifted to a higher level, giving a boost to their multifaceted business cooperation coupled with overall bilateral collaboration between the two nations. That was exactly why President Ramnath Kovind of India paid a 3-day state visit to Ethiopia last week. The visit was the president's maiden overseas trip and first journey to Ethiopia by an Indian president after 54 years. Upon his arrival, he received a warm welcome from Ethiopian President Dr. Mulat Teshome and other high-level government officials. President Kovind discussed bilateral and wide-ranging common issues with his Ethiopian counterpart Dr. Mulat Teshome. In addition, Ethiopia and India signed new cooperative agreements on trade, information, communication and media in the presence of the respective presidents.
Round of applause, please.
Dubbing Indian President's first ever visit to Addis Ababa historic, President Mulatu expressed gratitude to the Indian government for its support to Ethiopia's development.
The visit of the President to our country is historic and will give both of our countries the opportunity to explore areas of cooperation by widening mutual understanding and building mutual trust. I expressed my gratitude to the Government of India for its assistance and provision of lines of credit to finance important development projects to Ethiopia.
Meanwhile, President Kovind pledged to continue working with Ethiopia in the health and education sectors, in addition to boosting the trade and investment cooperation with the country.
We will be working closely to develop our trade and investment and people-to-people relations. My government will support through a line of credit of $195 million for power transmission sector, as well as medicines worth $2 million and food grains. Further, we would also provide assistance to the education sector.
More to this, the presidents have agreed to work together in fighting terrorism and helping maintain world peace and security.
India and Ethiopia have agreed to work together on arresting terrorism and cooperate in ensuring peace and security in the international arenas, apart from their contributions at the United Nations Security Council.
The Indian delegate's trip to Ethiopia also created a good opportunity for enhancing business ventures between the two countries. In relation to this, a B2B forum was held in Addis Ababa between investors of the respective countries. On the occasion, President Dr. Mulat Teshome took the opportunity to highlight the fact that Ethio-Indian friendly ties are also being reinforced in their trade and investment cooperation.
It is my firm belief that this political and business dialogue will take further elevating the Ethio-India existing social, economic and political relations to uppermost levels through fostering strategic economic alliances and builds a platform with high level and great influence in order to enhance the existing economic cooperation between our two countries. It is one clear demonstration of our two countries' symbiotic resolve to promote and strengthen the involvement of the private sector and formation of solid business partnership in our development endeavors. At this point, it is gratifying to note that through our partnership and mutual understanding, a lot has been achieved thus far, and the spirit of partnership and cooperation between our societies and sisterly countries is taking root and getting stronger with each passing moment.
Indian President Ramnath Kovind also notes that Ethiopia's fast economic growth is attracting more global business partnerships, including India.
India's bilateral partnership with Ethiopia is deep and wide. In the past 7 decades, our diplomatic engagement has helped us collaborate in virtually every avenue of human activity. Both our governments have identified trade and economic relations as a priority for the near future. The economic relationship covers trade, private investment, concessional loans for infrastructure projects, and development assistance, largely for capacity building.
Documents indicate that Ethiopia is second globally, next to Vietnam, in attracting foreign direct investment. Indian companies are engaged in textile, leather, engineering, water management, education and health, among other areas, investing in this East African country with a total investment capital of over 10 billion birr. They have also created 50,000 jobs in Ethiopia. Taking the podium, Ethiopian Foreign Affairs State Minister Dr. Aklilu Haile Michael noted that India is the third investing nation in Ethiopia in terms of volume.
By the Berlas in 1958, where the two governments started a textile company through joint venture. Today, India is one of the top 3 foreign investors, one of the top 3 sources of foreign investors in Ethiopia. The investment of Raymond and Arvind in Hawassa Industrial Park and Kanoria in the textile and garment manufacturing sector can be cited as examples of success stories of Indian companies in Ethiopia.
In an exclusive interview with Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation, Indian investors explained the reason why they choose Ethiopia as a lucrative business destination.
The reason they choose Ethiopia is because, first of all, the factors of production which are competitive in Ethiopia are the labor cost and electricity. These are 2 very important factors. Apart from that, the availability of certain raw materials and the government's industrial policy. There are a lot of investments, there are a lot of incentives in place, a lot of support mechanisms in place, and there is a vision. And with a lower cost of production, it is evident that the market or the sourcing points are going to shift from probably Asia to Ethiopia, especially in the labor-intensive areas. But anyway, I don't restrict it to only labor-intensive areas because you see even progress in the growth in non-labor-intensive areas as well. So by and large, the investment climate in Ethiopia is very conducive for investments.
That is mainly because one is the proximity to the India, okay, and the between the India and the Ethiopia, the cultural differences is very minimum. Okay, they find that the working wise it is very nice for here, and you will find the unexplored sectors are more, because as they brought out, because you are having the huge land over here where they can come and do this agriculture. That is one. Then there is unexploited minerals are there. If that can be brought, maybe in the future with the available power, the water and all, maybe the process industries might come. That is in the coming years.
It's the line of business that we are in. Ethiopia is one of the countries that has a huge focus towards infrastructure development. We are an infrastructure building company. We build infrastructure around the world, and that is how we came to Ethiopia, and that's how we are building projects over here.
We see clean business happening here. We see the government is supporting Indian community for the business. And secondly, they also give protection on a lot of investments which the Indian community will put in. So that's why I see an land of opportunity.
The Indian business delegates went on to appreciate the huge potential and attractive government incentives Ethiopia is offering.
Ethiopia is the rising star of the African economic landscape. Not only it's leading East Africa's growth story, but it's projected to be the fastest growing economy globally. Opportunities for investment exist in many areas of the Ethiopian economy.
There are huge opportunities here, because what has happened is that it's a barren land right now. I would right say that you open up a huge opportunity to us, and why I say that is that today actually Ethiopia is going from old economy to new economy.
I see there is a lot of opportunity because the kind of R&D which is taking place in our laboratories are very suitable for a country like Ethiopia, and the products made out of the technologies will definitely lead to a lot of business revenue.
We are focusing on agriculture sector. Um, we are a agrarian country and as in India, and the same case with Ethiopia as well. Although the industrialization is happening right now, agriculture is a base for industrialization in Ethiopia too. So our focus is developing technological solutions for agriculture, which eventually lead to an industrialization, like the way it happened in China. In China, it started with the agricultural revolution, and gradually they got an opportunity to invest in manufacturing. So I think the same case would happen here as well.
Indian investors have definitely been successful in Ethiopia, especially in the manufacturing sector. As I've told you earlier, most of the industries who have invested in Ethiopia have been expanding their businesses. So it is very evident if a business is expanding, it means that they are doing well. And if I see the expansion ratio, it's pretty high. And it's very clear that investing in Ethiopia is a good opportunity and is profitable.
The participants also say the B2B meeting has created an opportunity to work together and to assess business opportunities in both countries.
We have a good experience sharing with Indian business people, and we import not only materials, we import technology. That is very important for local investors, local business people importing technology and promotes joint venture with Indians.
In this B2B meeting, what will happen is the individuals, they can show who could be the good partners for here and who can come and invest here and who could be the this private sector partners.
Besides the untapped investment potential of Ethiopia, the government is set to create a conducive atmosphere, including building industrial parks to attract more foreign investment.
For those who are newcomers to Ethiopia, I can surely tell you that there is almost a captive market to take advantage of. Ethiopia offers a strong internal market with second largest population in sub-Saharan Africa. This spectacular potential is being boosted up with the various regional interconnection projects currently being undertaken. It also offers ample opportunities for situating manufacturing business in Ethiopia.
The visit of the newly elected President of India, Ram Nath Kovind, also features bilateral discussion with Ethiopian Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn. On their discussion, the President took the opportunity to congratulate Ethiopia for its growing recognition at international stages, particularly Ethiopia's win of the non-permanent membership seat on the UN Security Council and Dr. Tedros Adhanom's accession to Director General position of WHO.
Today, the voice of Ethiopia is heard with respect. Your place as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council and the election of Dr. Tedros Adhanom as the new Director General of WHO are matters of pride for all of us. I heartily congratulate the people of Ethiopia on these splendid achievements.
The President added that Ethiopia is India's natural partner to its growing engagement in the world. Together, the President said both countries can positively influence the world.
We see Ethiopia as a natural partner in our growing engagement with the world. Together, we must fight the scourge of terrorism. And together, we must shape and change new and old institutions of global governance.
In the historical linkage between Ethiopia and India, going back to about 2,000 years, Indians have played prominent roles teaching in Ethiopian schools. The President's visit to Addis Ababa University was part of further deepening the two countries' collaboration in education.
Educational cooperation between our two countries has been the fulcrum of our engagement. When Ethiopia embarked on its efforts to expand its education sector, Indian teachers were invited here to teach in elementary and secondary schools. Those early pioneers traveled to the remotest parts of the country, instilled values and ideals in young minds, and dedicated entire lifetimes to the noble calling of teaching.
In his address at the university, Kovind encouraged his fellow citizens as well as Ethiopian teachers to help the young population use their potential.
In terms of our demographic profiles, both Ethiopia and India are young countries. We have a similar set of challenges. These center on equipping our young people and our students with the education and skills to compete in the 21st century economy, with the capacity building to get jobs and employment opportunities that match their hopes, and with the sensibility to balance growth and development.
Appreciating the President's visit, Addis Ababa University President Professor Admas Tsaggai expressed readiness to strengthen ties with Indian universities.
Addis Ababa University recognizes and appreciates the valuable contribution Indian scholars have made to the university and to Ethiopia, and we would like to reinforce the joint activities aimed at expanding and strengthening the graduate and undergraduate programs.
The coming into Ethiopia of a lot of Indian lecturers immensely contributed here toward the flourishing of Ethiopian higher education, it was noted. After his fruitful visit to Ethiopia, Indian President Ramnath Kovind successfully concluded his 3-day state visit to the country, with both nations have reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations during the visit.